Good morning, Sunshine Fam. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chloe. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button below, hit the like button, and make your comments down below in the comment section, and share these videos with anybody you think might be interested in them. Today I am taking you on a very special trip that's going to decide the rest of my life. I'm not going to tell you right now where I'm going, but throughout the video you will find out where I'm going to be heading to. I do have a layover and on the way out west, and so hopefully I can film the takeoffs and the landings to both from Minneapolis to the layover to where I'm heading to, and then on the way back, because I do have a layover on the way back as well. So I hope you enjoy this video. This is going to decide the rest of my life. I'm going out to this area out west. I will tell you it is California. But I'm going out there to check out housing and income and jobs and that type of thing, to see if I can make it work financially for myself. I'm really looking forward to this trip. So excited to go. Haven't been out there for many, many years, and so I will be taking you out to California today. Well, not today, but the next day or so, I'm going to be leaving for California. So I will be seeing you out in California, and of course along the way I will be making some videos of the takeoffs and landings if I'm able to. I don't have my seat assignment yet, but I will be hopefully being able to take videos of the takeoffs and landings on my way out there and on my way back. And I'll be making some new Adventures with Chloe videos, so I'll be watching for those next week, sometime next week. And I'm really looking forward to showing you around my favorite area. Now, in my outro, which I will admit to you right now, it's actually after the trip, and I do mention that in one of the clips where I am out in California, that I'm making my intro after I get back from the trip. But I want to make it sound like I'm actually on my way out there. So I'll be in the same clothes for the intro and the outro. But the outro will be a little bit more heated, I shall say. So, yeah. So, in the outro, I will explain to you what brought me to this area at the very beginning of this story, and how I fell in love with the area and why I want to live out there so badly. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let the clip roll, and I will see you on the outro. See you in a bit.
Last time, please be seated for departure.
United welcomes you to Denver's International Airport. Local time is 7:29 a.m. Please remain in your seats with your seatbelt fastened and all items stowed until we brought the aircraft to a stop at the gate, and indeed until the captain switched off the fasten seatbelt sign. At that time, please stay clear of the door areas for a moment to allow the flight attendants to complete their safety responsibilities. Be careful when opening the overhead compartments, and don't forget to check around your seating area and your seatbelt pockets for any items that you may have brought on board. You're now free to use all of your devices in full transmit mode. However, if you're seated in the exit rows, please do not plug your devices back into the outlet. We will now turn you over to our ground customer service team here in Denver. They'll be more than happy to answer any remaining questions that you have. What I can tell you is that we're parking at gate B like Bravo 46. And if you're picking up your bags here in Denver, you can claim them from baggage carousel number 12. On behalf of the entire United Airlines team and our Star Alliance partners, especially your New York/Newark and Boston-based flight attendants, we'd like to thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you've had a pleasant experience on board. We certainly have enjoyed having you with us, and we look forward to welcoming you again soon on another United flight. Once again, thank you and have a great morning.
Sunshine family, here I am in Denver, Colorado. I just walked the entire length of this whole airport, and it's really, really long. And they're already boarding my flight to where I'm going. So my plane is right there. So there's my plane. So they're already boarding my plane. So I'm lucky I got here on time. So I'm going to go ahead and next time you'll see me is at my destination where I'm going to. So I'll see you in a bit. I have taken you to a very special place. I'm hoping you can hear me because it is a little windy. Oh my gosh, check this out. I have brought you to San Diego, California. It's chilly right now here by the ocean. But this is incredible. Check this out. Welcome to San Diego, California. I'm going to talk kind of close to the camera so you can hopefully hear me. You can see some sailboats way off in the distance there. I would not want to be on a sailboat in the ocean when it's this wild out there. And then check out this sand castle that these kids made. Isn't that amazing? And look at how long that pier is too. If I zoom back out, that is a long pier. But welcome to as far west as you can get in the United States. I am loving this. No snow. Now granted, Minnesota just had like 80s and 90s, almost 90 degrees. But this is amazing. And like the sand, I'll show you the sand. It's like super, super soft. See that? Oh, I just love this. So we're going to be taking all kinds of adventures out here. We are at Ocean Beach right now. Or I'm at Ocean Beach with you. Of course, you won't see this until after I get back home. this way, down that way is Mexico. Way down there. We are, let's see if I can zoom out enough here. Okay, so we are kind of by Mission Beach and SeaWorld. It's coming in and going. To San Diego. You guys have no clue what you're missing. There's a seaweed on the beach here. Up here, show you. Sorry. If I can even go over this way. I have to go behind the guard tower here. All kinds of planes coming in. And there's all kinds of puppies out here. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall. Look at how gorgeous this is. This must be the dog beach here. Look, there's a dog in the water there too. But look off in the distance there, can you see? See those hills back there? And then downtown San Diego is also down that way, I think. I'm not sure. As to where I am. I am absolutely loving this. So, while I'm out here, I'm going to be taking you all kinds of different places. Having a ball. Can you see that? See the dogs right in the water there? I can't tell if I'm focusing on the dogs because the sun is kind of shining in my eyes, so hopefully you guys can see the dogs. All kinds of puppies out here. Big dogs, little dogs, medium dogs. But welcome to sunny California. Check-in fee, and when I rented my car through Priceline, don't ever go through Priceline, by the way. I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but I booked my trip through Priceline, and I'm not even sure if you can hear me because it's so windy out here. You know what? I'm going to stop this now, and I'll talk to you when I get back to my car. Okay, so I was just watching some of the, oh goodness, sorry. So I was just watching some of the footage. I just honked my horn. People were looking at me. I just looked at some of the footage and I realized you couldn't hardly hear me through some of it. So anyway, to kind of recap what I was trying to say is I am currently at Ocean Beach in sunny San Diego, California. And I realize I do tend to repeat myself a lot. So I've done an intro already, which right now, as I'm saying this, I have not done the intro, but it will be on the beginning of this video. This video takes you from Minneapolis. Well, I'm probably going to say this in the intro anyway, but this video took you from Minneapolis into Denver and here into San Diego. The reason I did not videotape the takeoff and the landing from Denver into San Diego is because I had the middle seat and I didn't want the gal that was sitting in the window seat to think that I was like trying to film her. So I didn't get that. So maybe I can do that on my way back from San Diego to Minneapolis. It is a little bit chilly by the ocean right now and quite windy, as you could hear. But lots of puppies here, obviously. I am very hungry. I haven't eaten anything today. So I'm thinking of maybe going to try and find some food. One place that I do want to take you when I'm here, which will probably be a separate video because there's many different places to see in this location, is Old Town, San Diego. I may take you to Balboa Park. I don't know. I was thinking of maybe taking you to Seaport Village, but then I realized that the parking costs money. And when I went to book what I was trying to say in the video, I don't know if I didn't watch it that far ahead, but don't ever book with Priceline, because when I went to rent my car, something I didn't know is that they had to, because I didn't have a credit card, I used a debit card, they had to do a $500 hold on it. So that pretty much emptied my bank account. So I had to move some money around so that I have money while I'm here. I mean, I'll get that money back once I get the car rental back. But I tried to check into my hotel, and they said that there was going to be a early check-in fee. So I'm like, nope, I've already paid more than I wanted to, and I haven't even been here for 6 hours. So driving on the highway here is kind of scary because it's like a 4 or 5 lane highway, and like people fly down the highway here like 90 miles an hour. I swear to God, I was doing like 70 and people were passing me like I was standing still. So while I've been out here, I've also been doing some live streams. So if you are not a part of the Sunshine Fam on my Facebook page, please go over and check me out on Chloe Murphy and look back at some of my old videos, because I do show you what my page looks like. So that way you can find me, because there's a lot of Chloe Murphys out there. So that's kind of what's been going on here. Got some people getting into their vehicle right next to me. Probably like, what is she doing in her car? But lots of dogs around. There was one surfer out there when I first went out there. I don't know if you saw him or not. Started walking up towards me and smiled and waved. Not sure if I got him in the shot or not. I didn't look that far ahead, but absolutely gorgeous day out here today. Palm trees everywhere, sunshine, no snow, which is amazing. So absolutely incredible here. So I'll be showing you different places around here. I'm staying northeast of the city of San Diego itself, but to get to the beach I had to go back down into San Diego. So I might do some exploring down here, do some videos down here. Gotta kind of watch my battery time. So in any case, so this was Ocean Beach that I just showed you, and I'll be showing you around different places around town. So we'll see you in a bit at another location. Bye. I'm back. I'm at my hotel, and as you can tell, I am exhausted. It has been a very long day. I've been up since 2:45 in the morning. I may have said that. I've done videos and I've done live streams on my normal Facebook page, so I don't know what I've said in which video. So if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But anyway, I am really tired. Had a very long day. Been on the plane most of the morning, and then I've been driving on the highways here, which are crazy because the people drive like 90 miles an hour. So I was just going to look for some ice, and apparently they don't have ice here, but they give you an ice bucket. I don't understand that. So I guess I'm just going to have to drink my orange juice really quickly. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did since you last saw me at Ocean Beach. But I wanted to show you outside, and it's very loud outside, so I'm not going to talk, but I want to show you the view that I have outside my door of my apartment. Now, this is an economy hotel, so it's not super nice, but I just wanted to show you what my view is. Okay. was all about. But this is my view. Look at those mountains out there. They call them hills, but to me those are mountains. And then we got the highway over here. And down over here we have the pool. And it is a little breezy out. I'll show you the pool. It's too cold to swim, but here's the pool. This is the back of the building. So there's the pool. Kind of chilly out today. Even up here, you can see that it is breezy. With these nice seeing palm trees. And as you look around, there's no snow anywhere. It's wonderful. I wish that U-Haul was mine, but it's not. We've got some little palm trees over here. But I just wanted to kind of show you around here how beautiful it is. And then we got a Super 8 over there. But look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? And like way off in the distance. Can you see that sunshine like back behind that tall palm tree in the middle of the shot? Sorry, it's kind of shaky. It's chilly out here. But like the sun is shining on those mountains back there. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. You don't see that in Minnesota. Okay, so into my room here. I guess it doesn't matter if I show you the room number because by the time you see this, I'm going to be back in Minnesota anyway. So I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what I did after I talked to you at Ocean Beach. So, as you remember me saying, I was super hungry because I hadn't eaten anything all day. So I went to Old Town. And, sorry, I got something on the lens. At Old Town, I went to the Old Town Mexican Cafe. It's my favorite restaurant out here. The food is so fresh. And it's very reasonably priced. I had 2 massive tacos. I couldn't even finish both of them because they were so much food. And it only cost me like $13 for those 2 tacos. And that might seem like a lot to you guys, but if you had seen the size of these freaking tacos, oh my gosh. I might put a picture of that on my Chloe Murphy Facebook page. I may not do a live stream on my Chloe Murphy Facebook page because I've been doing them on my regular page under my real name. So right now, everybody who is on my Chloe Murphy page on Facebook is also on my regular page. So I figured, why repeat myself? So I may not do a live stream on my Facebook page because not very many people follow me over there. But after I went to Old Town Mexican Cafe, I was thinking of doing some filming out there, but I was on my second battery. The first battery died, and I've only got 2 batteries. I tried to go to Walmart to see if I could get a third one, but apparently they don't sell them there. So I only have 2 batteries for my camera, and they usually only last about 18 minutes. Good enough for like one video for when the camera shuts off. So about 18-19 minutes, and then shortly into another video, then the battery dies. So should have bought more batteries before I came here. But then if I would have, I wouldn't have been able to have any money out here. So somebody's texting me. So anyway, so after I got done there, it was getting about 1:45, and I had to check in at my hotel at 3. And Old Town is closer to San Diego than where I'm at, which is in El Cajon right now. And it's about a half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour drive from from Old Town up to here. And that's taking a highway. So I figured, well, I'll come back up this way, and then I'll go to Walmart and pick up some food because I don't want to eat out every meal. So I thought if I buy some food, like snacky food, so that I have at least something to eat here, and I'm not spending all my money on food, because gas prices out here are at $4.48 a gallon, and that's up this way. Going to San Diego is much higher. So what I want to do is either tomorrow, probably more on Sunday. I don't know why I'm telling you that, because you're not going to see this until after I get back home anyway, but because today's Friday. So tomorrow I hope to make it up to the city that I really want to look at for jobs and housing. And that's about another 35 minutes from here, northwest of where I'm at now. And I'm northeast of San Diego. So, and they have some really cute places up in that city too. So I might do an Adventures with Chloe video up there. And then maybe Sunday I'll go back into Old Town and do a video at Old Town. I'm not sure if I'm going to take any videos, or go to Balboa Park, because there's a really stinking long, tall bridge there that you have to cross over. It's not very long, but it's super, super high, and I am super afraid of heights, which is why I'm not going to Coronado, because the bridge to cross over from San Diego to Coronado is 250 feet over the bay. No, absolutely not. So I can maybe, I'm not sure if I can show you Coronado. Depends on if I can get I would have taken, well, I already said that. If I can get a window seat, and it depends on which way we're flying out of the airport too. So I may or may not get a window seat, and if I do, I may or may not get a shot of Coronado. But I know I have uploaded a video of Coronado when we were here, when me and Silver Star and Sea Dog were here in 2015. So you guys have seen it from our hotel room when we were staying in San Diego at that time, downtown, along with Point Loma. And I know on that video, Sea Dog had asked me, it was when we first went into our hotel room, and he was asking me what the islands were out that were further out in the ocean, and I said they were the Coronado Islands, or the Catalina Islands. They were not. They were the Coronado Islands, and those islands are actually a part of Mexico, but they look like they should be in part of California. But downtown San Diego is literally 13 miles north of the Mexican border. So, that's why they're considered the Coronado Islands, and they're considered part of Mexico. So, I know I'll probably get up before the sun rises here, because we're 2 hours earlier than we are in Minnesota. So, actually, I won't be able to see the sun rise, I don't think, from here, because I think I'm facing west. I'm not actually sure which direction I face. I am so backwards here. Like, as I'm driving down the highways, they're saying, yeah, take this highway north, and I feel like, or south, and I feel like I'm going north. Or I feel like I'm going west, and it's telling me to take this highway north, and I'm going on the highway, but I feel like I'm going west rather than north. It's just, I'm so backwards in my directions out here. It's just insane. But, excuse me. I do want to get a couple of souvenirs out here for a couple of people back home, mainly family. So that's pretty much what I did today. And then I checked into my hotel, and they charged me at check-in rather than check-out. So, like, my whole trip is paid for, but now I hardly have any money left. So I've really got to watch how much I use the car, because with gas prices as high as they are, I don't want to be driving too much and then have to fill the car up from, like, empty. So at least the hotel is paid, so I don't have to worry about having the money in my account for the hotel, because that's already done. And the money that they charged me for the car that they're holding, I'll get that money back, thank God. So I can put some of that money back into my savings, some of it, not all of it. And then I'll just have to put extra money in when I get paid next week, because I get paid weekly. So one thing I want to, well, maybe I don't want to tell you that. I was going to tell you something about work, but then that would kind of give away where I work. And I don't want, I'm very private, you know. So that has been my day today. This is probably going to be a hodgepodge of videos on this particular one. This one I'm not really calling an Adventures with Chloe video, even though I did go to Ocean Beach. But I didn't really talk about Ocean Beach too much. I just showed you the dog park and the waves and that long pier and stuff like that. I would not go out on that pier, no way. But I might be able to show you the sunset tomorrow if I'm back in my hotel room in time. I might even be able to show you tonight. But it is kind of cloudy. It started out really beautiful today, as you saw, but it's gotten cloudy. And the best times to travel here are, according to the locals, February and November, because those are their sunniest months. And their cloudiest months are May and June, which they call May Gray and June Gloom. So I learned that when I came out here in June of 2012. Bad time. I never picked the right... Well, 2015 was a really good vacation with Silver Star and Sea Dog and myself, with the exception that we hardly had any money. But we made it a fantastic vacation out here. And of course, when I was here back in the 80s, that's how the whole thing started, really. But maybe I'll tell you that another time, because I am like knackered, as the British say. And so, and I've got somebody that's texting me constantly, so I gotta get going to catch up with this person. So, I'll tell you the story of why I love this area. Well, I can't even tell you why I love this area so much, but how it all started with me coming here. And it goes way back into the mid-80s. So maybe that'll be a different vlog, maybe, or maybe I'll just put it with this one and it'll just be a super long video. But I probably won't be putting all the videos up right now. This one will probably be the first one that I put up. And then on my next day off, then I'll probably put up one of the Adventures with Chloe videos, if I do 2 of them. I want to do Old Town for sure. And maybe I'll do one up in the city that I'm going to go to tomorrow to check out housing and jobs up there. There's a really pretty lake up there, and there's some quaint little town, like a little downtown area. Kind of reminds me, I've seen videos about it, and it kind of reminds me of like Stillwater, Minnesota, where it's like a small town feel or whatever. So I might try to find that and then do that as an Adventures with Chloe video. I may or may not do Balboa. I'm not quite sure at this point. So, but I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. So I will see you on another day, bright and chipper in the morning, and continue with this video and then do my outro at that point. I'll probably, the intro that you saw was probably filmed when I get back home, because that's how I wanted to do this anyway, and I didn't do my intro before I left Minnesota. So I haven't done it yet, but by the time you see this, I'm probably going to do my intro back in Minnesota. So what you saw at my intro was after the trip. I think that's how I'm going to do it. All right, I'll talk to you guys on the next clip. See ya. Well, guys, today is my last day here. I fly out this afternoon at about 1:15. Right now my flight is on time. So I thought I would end this video the way that I started it, but I'm a little less happy now. I'm a little emotional, actually, because I always hate leaving here. But I am back out at Ocean Beach. And the waves are quite high again today. This is my third time being out here. So let me kind of show you through the windshield. It's a little bit rainy out, sprinkly out, whatever. So we got some surfers out there. Hopefully my camera will focus. We do have some surfers way out there in the water. I'm not sure if it's focusing or not. Doesn't look like it's very clear. So you can kind of see I'm back quite a ways from the ocean. But this sand is super, super soft. I got some people next to me that are going to be going out surfing. And then here's that pier. I'm not going to brave that. Nope, nope, nope. But I'm not going to make this part a very long video because I got to watch my battery time. I did make quite a few adventures with Chloe videos out here. And when I say quite a few, I mean more than one. I think I made like 3. So I will be taking you to, the first one will be Lake Poway. That was a very scary drive getting up there because the way that Google Maps took me, I went up in the mountain and I am very afraid of heights. So I was freaking out pretty much the whole way up to Poway from El Cajon. So on the way back, I decided to go a different way. So I came down the highway on 15, or what they call the 15, where I didn't have to go down the mountain quite so steep anyway. And that was a lot safer for me, a lot less panic attack on that one. I didn't have a major panic attack, but on the way up, but it was pretty scary. But I did stay out at Lake Poway for a while. That really calmed me down. It's a very beautiful area, so be watching for that video, likely next week, or maybe even on Sunday, because I'm off on Sunday too. And by the time you see this, right now it is Monday, the 17th of April, but by the time you see this, it's going to be Thursday, because that's my next day off. So you'll be seeing this much after the fact, after I get home. So that was my first adventure, and what an adventure. And then included in that is a tiny little quaint town called Old Poway Village. I didn't get a chance to film the whole village because some of the streets were blocked off, and I didn't stay up there for too long because I wanted to make sure that I got back before it got too late. And I didn't actually go out there until later in the day. So so you'll be seeing Lake Poway and Old Poway Village on either Sunday or sometime next week, whenever I get another day off. And so that'll be the first Adventures with Chloe video. And then the next one will be at, where did I go next? Seaport Village. And that is right along the San Diego Bay in downtown San Diego. I show you the different shops. I show you Coronado from across the bay on the San Diego side. I show you the bridge that you take to get across Coronado. I show you the old carousel that was built in the 1800s. That was pretty cool. And then I show you a special place that was in a movie that was filmed back in the 1980s. So you'll be seeing that area as well. I don't want to give too much away. So I'll be watching for that one for Seaport Village. And then the third one, I'll be wearing the same clothes because I went to these two places on the same day, which was yesterday. I went to Old Town San Diego, and some of it was filmed in the Whaley House, and some of it was filmed in a graveyard, and I do explain a little bit about that, but I show you around Old Town a little bit, And I'm not sure how long that video is going to be. I wasn't able to get into all the places that me and the kids went to because the stables were not open yesterday. But you will get to see the blacksmith describing how they heat up the metal and give you a little bit of a demonstration before my battery was going to die. So I do show you a little bit of that. And couldn't get into the Cosmopolitan Hotel, unfortunately. It was closed down. I don't know if they were doing construction in there or what, but I couldn't get in there, even to the saloon. So unfortunately, I couldn't show you that, but I do show you the outside of the hotel. And then there's this one, which is going to be the first video that you see. So it's been an interesting trip. The highways here are pretty scary. They're like 5-6 lane highways. People would rather run over you as to look at you, because I swear they're doing like 90, 100 mile an hour down the highways here. So that was very different. And I went into a Walmart on Friday to get some food for myself so that I had something to eat so I didn't have to eat out every day. And I did go to the Old Town Mexican Cafe, which those pictures are up on my Facebook page. I might share them on my Chloe Facebook page, even though most of you that are on my regular Facebook page are on my Chloe Facebook page, or vice versa. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking around. I'm seeing a lot of birds coming in and a lot of big waves out there and stuff. Sorry, I'm distracted. This Walmart is inside a mall, so it's not a standalone Walmart. So, the thing is, this is a 2-story Walmart. So you get into Walmart from inside the mall, and then you take an elevator up to the 2nd floor. That was really weird. But I did find out when I was down here, I didn't look at any apartments or anything, but my friend that lives in Poway, she did give me some cities that I should look into that are a little bit cheaper than Poway. Poway is more expensive, and so I've decided Poway is not the place for me. I still haven't completely made up my mind about moving out here yet. I just wanted to see for myself. What is this guy doing? Okay, whatever, dude. He's like parked up on the sand. I thought he was going to go over the barricade here. So, what was I talking about? I get distracted so easy. I was talking about moving out here. Still haven't made up my mind about that yet. I got a lot of thinking to do. So, for the time being, I guess I can tell you guys, I'm staying in Minnesota. And yes, we are very close to the airport, so I'm sure you can hear that plane flying overhead. The reason I'm filming from in here is because it's sprinkling a little bit outside and it's a little bit chilly. So I might go out on the beach for a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to film out there. So with that, the next few clips you're going to see is from the airport. And hopefully I can get a window seat. I haven't gotten my seat assignment yet. So hopefully I can get a window seat on the way back, at least on one of the flights, if not both of them. Because I fly into Phoenix, and then I have an hour-and-a-half layover there, and then I fly from Phoenix back home. So if I can get a window seat on both of those flights, then I will be videotaping the takeoff and the landings. The takeoffs and the landings. But I'll be getting into Minneapolis around 9:30 p.m. So my takeoffs and landings from and to Minneapolis are going to be in the dark. So I'm sorry about that. I mean, you've already seen the takeoff already, but the landing will be in the dark as well. So if I get a window seat. So we'll see. Man, these waves are just huge. I got to show this to you. Look at how big these waves are. They're so big. And they go all the way over here. There's not very many people out here today, obviously. So, yeah, there's some pretty good sized waves. When I was out here yesterday to clear my head, I was just sitting on the beach and the waves were a lot smaller than this. I mean, these aren't like enormous waves or anything, but big enough. I think this might be high tide or something. I don't know if you can see the surfers out in the water there. Might go blurry on me, and of course you're seeing the speckles on my windshield here. Yeah, I can't quite get into that person, but there are some surfers out there, and the girls next to me just like ran out onto the beach. Yeah, their wetsuits on and stuff, but so I was correct in my first video out here that the city is that away. The city is to the right, and SeaWorld is to, or I'm sorry, the city is to the left, and SeaWorld is to the right. So I have filmed far longer than I anticipated, so I'm just going to go ahead and end this clip. So the next clips you'll be seeing are from the airport. So we'll see you in a bit.
behalf of Frontier Airlines and your flight crew, welcome to Phoenix. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until we are parked at the gate and the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. Cell phones may now be used, however laptop computers and other large electronic must remain stowed. Once we arrive at the gate, please use caution when opening overhead bins to prevent injury, as items may have shifted during landing. For questions regarding your transportation and baggage claim, a Frontier customer service representative will meet this flight upon arrival at the gate and will be happy to assist you. For those customers needing special assistance, such as a wheelchair, please remain seated until the majority of the customers exit the aircraft, as this will allow us to better assist you. For those customers who live in the Phoenix area, welcome home. For those who are just visiting, we wish you a pleasant stay. On behalf of your crew and everyone on Team Frontier, thanks for traveling with us today.
Good morning, Sunshine Fam. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chloe. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button below, hit the like button, and make your comments down below in the comment section, and share these videos with anybody you think might be interested in them. Today I am taking you on a very special trip that's going to decide the rest of my life. I'm not going to tell you right now where I'm going, but throughout the video you will find out where I'm going to be heading to. I do have a layover and on the way out west. And so hopefully I can film the takeoffs and the landings to both from Minneapolis to the layover to where I'm heading to, and then on the way back, because I do have a layover on the way back as well. So I hope you enjoy this video. This is going to decide the rest of my life. I'm going out to this area out west. I will tell you it is California, but I'm going out there to check out housing and income and jobs and that type of thing, to see if I can make it work financially for myself. I'm really looking forward to this trip. So excited to go. Haven't been out there for many, many years, and so I will be taking you out to California today. Well, not today, but the next day or so, I'm going to be leaving for California. So I will be seeing you out in California, and of course along the way I will be making some videos of the takeoffs and landings if I'm able to. I don't have my seat assignment yet, but I will be hopefully being able to take videos of the takeoffs and landings on my way out there and on my way back. And I'll be making some new Adventures with Chloe videos, so I'll be watching for those next week, sometime next week. And I'm really looking forward to showing you around my favorite area. Now, in my outro, which I will admit to you right now, it's actually after the trip, and I do mention that in one of the clips where I am out in California, that I'm making my intro after I get back from the trip. But I want to make it sound like I'm actually on my way out there. So I'll be in the same clothes for the intro and the outro. But the outro will be a little bit more heated, I shall say. So, yeah. So, in the outro, I will explain to you what brought me to this area at the very beginning of this story, and how I fell in love with the area and why I want to live out there so badly. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let the clip roll, and I will see you on the outro. See you in a bit. Well, welcome back, Sunshine Fam. We are now on Thursday, April 20th, and today is kind of a hard day for me. I'll get into that in just a minute, but I am now back from California, from San Diego. And what a trip it was. Both good and a lot of bad. So I did explain throughout some of the clips what had happened on my trip out there. But one thing I will strongly encourage you is if you're ever going to take a trip, do not ever go through Priceline, and never, ever, ever fly Frontier Airlines. It has just been a nightmare for me. So to kind of recap my entire trip and give you my synopsis of the whole thing and my decision. So my first flight on Friday was supposed to take off at 4:45, which it did, and I flew out there through United. So here's what happened. Friday, I lost all my money. Not gambling, unfortunately, although it was kind of a gamble. I get to the airport here at Minneapolis, and I go to check in, and I had my luggage with me. It was just one bag, and I go to check in at the kiosk, and the guy helped me out and stuff like that, and he said, with your ticket, you don't get a carry-on. You can have your purse with you, and you can have your camera with you, but you don't get a carry-on, so you're going to have to check your bag. So that's going to be $35. I'm like, okay, $35 isn't that much. Had quite a bit in my bank account, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. So that was when I'm like, okay, why didn't Priceline tell me that I didn't have a carry-on? Because of the way that I booked the trip. So when I originally booked the trip, it was going to cost me about $800 or so between flight, hotel, and car rental. So I checked my bag, got on the plane, made it into Denver, and I know that I talked about this when I landed in Denver, but I'm not sure how well you could hear me because it was I had to talk kind of quiet because I was at a very busy gate. So we landed at gate 46, and I get off the plane, and when I got the ticket in Minneapolis, they didn't have a gate number assigned when I had to take off from Denver to go to San Diego. So I get off the plane, and I go to the gal at the desk at gate 46, and I said, where am I supposed to go? And she said, gate 9. I'm like, okay, well, I've got an hour. I should be able to get there in time. So I'm walking through the airport, and I was passing all these little shops along the way, and I thought, I should maybe pick up maybe a postcard or something to show that I was here in Denver. And I thought, no, I want to get to my gate. Maybe there's a store close to my gate that I can buy something like that at. Well, there wasn't. So I get to my gate at gate 9, which took me about 15 minutes to get all the way across the whole airport. It was like one long hallway. And I get there, and they're already boarding my plane. And I guess the way that they do it nowadays, I don't travel much. So if if you guys travel a lot, you guys are probably laughing, going, well, you should know this. But the last time I went on a plane was in 2015. So they didn't do the boarding the way that they do it now. They did it by rows. And so now they do it by sections. So I was in section 5 from Denver to San Diego, which means I was towards the back of the plane. So they had already boarded section 1, and they were boarding section 2, 1 and 2 at that point. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I get on the plane. I had plenty of time because they didn't have to take off for 45 minutes anyway, but I barely sat at the gate before I boarded the plane. So unfortunately, from Denver to San Diego, I had the middle seat, which I think I did explain in one of the clips. So I wasn't able to film the takeoff and the landing from Denver into San Diego, which I do like to have a window seat, so I can do that, but I wasn't able to do that from Denver to San Diego. But you did see the takeoff, the very dark takeoff from Minneapolis into Denver, landing in Denver. And then, so I get off my plane, and I get my bag. Thankfully, it made it there because I'm not used to... when I usually travel, I usually take Expedia, and I take a straight flight there. I don't have to do a layover anywhere. So this was quite the adventure for me. So thankfully, my bag made it from Minneapolis to Denver to San Diego, which I was very grateful for. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had any clothes. And so I get my bag, pick up the shuttle, and go to pick up my car. So I'm at the gate at the counter at the car rental place, which is Dollar Rent-A-Car. I wouldn't suggest using them either. And I don't have a major credit card. And so the line to get in there, they only had 3 people helping customers, and it was Thrifty and Dollar. And so it took a while for me to get up to the counter. So I get up to the counter with this lady. She wasn't very friendly. And she's like, I need to see your ID and your credit card. So I get my ID and my bank card out. And she hands me back the bank card. No, I don't need a bank card. I need a credit card. I said, I don't have a credit card. Oh, well, in that case, we have to do a $500 hold on your bank account because you don't have a major credit card. I'm thinking, I'm being penalized because I don't have a credit card? She goes, well, it's in the fine print that nobody ever reads. I'm thinking, well, then maybe you should put it in bold print on the first line so that people see that and they know, oh, I'm going to be charged an extra $500 to rent from you guys if I don't have a credit card. So I just had pulled my card out of the card reader to pay for this $500, and they insisted that I pay for insurance, even though when I booked the trip, it asked me for my insurance information so that if anything happened to the car, they could get in touch with my insurance agent to take care of any problems that may have happened with the car. And so I had to pay for insurance on the car as well. Well, the $500 was just a hold on the card, and I was going to get that back when I turned the car back in. Okay, so whatever. So I no sooner had taken my card out of the card reader to pay for the insurance and this $500 hold that I get an email from my bank saying, "Oh, your bank account has reached a zero balance." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So I look at my bank account and I was negative almost $50 in my bank account. So I had to transfer money from my savings into my checking. My savings is basically a buffer to keep my rent money in there so that I don't use that money for other purchases, so that I have my rent by the end of the month to pay for my rent for this place. So I'm like, great. So I transferred $500 from savings into checking. Thank God I had that money in there. So I go and get my car, and that was kind of an experience too. I've always rented from Enterprise, and so they usually give you the car that you're going to be driving. Well, in this case, they tell you to go to what section, and you can pick out whatever car you want, and all the keys are in the car and everything. I'm like, oh, that's different. So I'm looking around at all these cars in this section, and I picked a Toyota Corolla with Arizona plates, which I don't know if that was on a live stream or if it was in this video. I don't know. So anyway, I made live streams out there. I made YouTube videos out there. So, and all the live streams, I know I put on here that I might be making live streams for my Chloe Murphy Facebook page. I did not do that. So, I apologize for that. But if you know me by my normal name, then you can see the live streams on my regular, on my name on Facebook. So I made like one or two, I think, out there. Maybe one. I don't know. But anyway, getting off track. So I go and pick up my car and I drive up to the hotel. Well, I got in early in the morning. So I get to the hotel about 10:30, and it was a Motel 6. And they're like, yeah, we can do an early check-in, but it's going to cost, we're going to have to charge you a fee. I went, nope. I've already lost $500 for the car. So I said, when is check-in? So they said 3 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I said, I'll see you back at 3 o'clock. Tell me how to get to the ocean. So they told me how to go to Ocean Beach, which you saw that clip on there, which you couldn't even hear me when I was on the beach. So that's why I kind of reiterated what I was saying in my car, or in the car that I rented, while I was on the beach, because you couldn't hear everything I was saying because it was so windy out there. I really need to get a microphone that will cut out some of the outside noise for that. So I do apologize that kind of drowned out my voice. So that was the first place I went when I went to San Diego. Was I drove back down to San Diego. Driving on the highways was really scary, but I've already told you that like 4 times. So I go to the beach, and then I went to Old Town and went to the Old Town Mexican Cafe, where I had my wonderful tacos, and they were so good. Only cost me $13. And the tacos, I swear, are like that big. They're huge. So there was 2 of them. I didn't even finish both of them. I finished the one, and I finished most of the second one, and then I was just way too full. So I took it to go, and then when I tried to eat it the next day, it wasn't very good, so I threw the rest of it out. But it wasn't a lot of food. I felt bad about doing that, but didn't want to make anybody else sick, so took one bite, and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't taste as good. So I threw it away. So at this point, I walked around Old Town for a little bit, and I didn't film out there that day. That was all. This is all on Friday. And so I thought, well, it's getting kind of later in the day, so I'll go back up to El Cajon, which is where I was staying, and I'll go and see if I can find some food that I can snack on, or, you know, that I can eat while I'm at the hotel, so I don't have to eat my meals out on every single meal. Well, it's a good thing I didn't buy any frozen food, and it's a good thing I didn't really buy anything that had to be refrigerated other than a carton of orange juice, because the hotel, when I went to check into the hotel, they charged me at check-in rather than on check-out. And I'll get to these charges about the $500, and then it was about $200, $233 for the hotel. So I'll get to those charges with my bank account in just a second. So I thought that was unusual, because I've stayed in hotels before, and they usually charge you on check-out, but they charge me on check-in, which I don't know if that's how they do things nowadays. I don't know. So there was another $200 I had to transfer from my savings into my checking, so that pretty much wiped out my savings account, my rent money. So I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm getting the $500 back when I go to turn in the car, so then I can transfer that money back into my savings account to bring that savings account almost back to where it was before the trip, as long as I don't spend too much money out here in California. So I asked the guy, I said, well, I got to the hotel room, and I was on the second floor, and I called down and I said, can I get a refrigerator? Oh yeah, we can rent you one. And I'm like, wait, rent me one? He goes, yeah, it's like $10 a day to rent you a refrigerator. I went, you know what, forget it. I'll just deal with whatever I have. So I drank my orange juice rather quickly, so that it didn't go bad. I was only out there for 4 days, so I don't think 4 days with orange juice would have made it go bad if it wasn't refrigerated. But I was able to drink that in about 3 days, 2.5 days, whatever. And I didn't buy anything that needed to be refrigerated. And thankfully I didn't buy anything that really needed to be microwaved, because the microwave, I could have gotten a microwave, but that would have cost me $5 a day to rent a microwave to have in my room, which I thought was ridiculous. So I'm like, okay, this is just not working out for me. So that was Friday. So then I did videotape on Friday evening showing how exhausted I was after that day. All the driving that I did, and all the headaches with all this money going everywhere. So I got the best night's sleep I had had in a long time. I think I went to bed their time about 9 o'clock, which would have been 11 o'clock here in Minnesota. And I swear I fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. I didn't wake up until, I think it was 7 o'clock their time. About 6 or 7 o'clock their time. I mean, I woke up a couple times in the middle of the night, but then I went back to sleep. And I slept so well. I mean, it's not like the bed was super, super comfy. I mean, it was a Motel 6, but I slept so well because I was so exhausted. And so then I get up on Saturday, and my intention on Saturday was to go and find places to live in Poway and maybe Escondido, and then also to inquire about jobs out there. So I woke up and I was feeling kind of down that morning because of all the money that I had lost the day before. So I stayed in the hotel a lot longer than I anticipated. Still kind of tired. So I got my start a little bit later in the day than I wanted to. And the first place I went to was Poway. And Poway, Google Maps took me on 67, which goes up into the mountain. Well, I'm afraid of heights, and I'm driving this car by myself, and it was bringing me flashbacks of when I was out in California in 2001 for my honeymoon, when we went from San Francisco down to LA, down to San Diego on Pacific Coast Highway, which is the one that goes up in the mountains and you're doing these hairpin turns and everything. And I'm on the passenger side and I'm having a panic attack in the car. This is back in 2001. So it kind of brought flashbacks to that. And I knew with driving, I couldn't have a panic attack. So I tried to keep myself calm. Couldn't figure out what radio stations to get into because I put in a radio station, then it would go staticky, and I tried to find another radio station, and I just couldn't figure out the radio part. So I never used the radio in my car, or in the car. And so I'm driving up using the Google Maps, and I'm going way up in the mountains, and I must have been 4,000 feet up, and I was just terrified. So then I went to Lake Poway, which will be the first Adventures with Chloe videos that you'll be seeing, likely on Sunday, because that's my next day off. So that place was very beautiful, very calming, very peaceful. So I stayed there for a little while to kind of calm my nerves down. Figured out on Google Maps how to get back down to El Cajon without having to go back down the mountain. And I found that I had seen this video that before I went about places to go in Poway, and this guy told about this place called Old Poway Village. So I found that, and they must have had some kind of festival or something going that day. So they had some of the streets blocked off, so I only showed you a portion of that. It's a lot bigger than what I showed you in this video that you'll be seeing for Lake Poway. And I was out there for a little while filming, and then I went down the 15 to go back to El Cajon, which made it a lot easier because if I was going down, I didn't feel like I was going down. Like when I was going up the mountain, you could definitely feel it, but going down, you didn't feel like you were going down a steep hill. So it was more flat coming back to El Cajon. So then I went to Home Depot and inquired about that. When I went to Walmart a couple times to buy a couple things, I inquired there about what the wages were there. So I kind of got to feel that Home Depot wasn't really all that informative. They said that you just have to, because it varies on your experience and all this stuff. And so the guy never really told me how much the wages were at Home Depot out there. He just said that you have to apply online. Sometimes it could take a few months. So I said, well, I'm not looking to move out here, if I am able to move out here, until like September or October anyway. So he goes, well, that's good because it might... Okay, so the camera turned off because my 18 minutes was up. I really need to get a camera that can record longer than 18 minutes at a time. So I was talking about Home Depot, and he said it'll probably take you that long to do the hiring process, because first they check and see if you'd be a good candidate, and then if they find that you're a good candidate, then they'll give you a phone interview, and then if they still like you, then you would come into the store to do an in-person interview. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work because I live in Minnesota. So I kind of have an idea of the wages out there. I was going to inquire about getting back maybe into data entry and temp jobs, but I can always do that while I'm back here, do the research for that and call these places from back here. So that's kind of how the wage thing went. So that was on Saturday. So getting into my bank account a little bit. So Saturday I had to get some toothpaste because I knew that, well, before I left the house, I decided I wasn't going to take the toothpaste with me because I thought I'd have a carry-on. And so I thought, well, I need some toothpaste. So I went back to Walmart, and which the Walmart was kind of interesting because you go into the Walmart wasn't a standalone Walmart. I think I may have mentioned that. And that's a two-story Walmart. Yeah, I think I mentioned that in an earlier clip. So I'll try not to repeat myself. So I go to Walmart, and I thought, I better check and see how much money I have in my bank account because I'm probably getting down to like $300 or something. And I look, and I had $1,200 in my bank account. And I'm like, wait, how is that possible? The 500 and the 200 came out. And so I look into my statement, and it didn't show the $500 coming out or going back in. It didn't even show the $200 for the hotel coming out. So I'm like, well, that's strange, because at the counter at the car rental place, it automatically took the money out because I got notified from my bank. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to put the money back into my savings because I'll use that for like gas and food and souvenirs and stuff out here. I'll just make sure that I'm very careful with how much money I spend, because I'll need to put that money back into my bank account once I get back home, whatever money I have left. And so that kind of surprised me, that the money didn't come out for the $500 for the car and the $200 for the hotel. So that was weird. So Sunday, I get up, and again, I kind of stayed in the hotel a little bit longer than I really wanted to, but I've kind of gotten used to just staying at home. And so you'd think when I'm out in California, I'm going to go out and spend as much time outside as possible after this past winter. Although last week we did have 80-degree weather for like 3 or 4 days here in Minnesota. Pretty much melted out the snow, thank God, except for the big snow piles in the parking lots. So especially the one at Ridgedale. So I got up, and after a little while, a couple hours or whatever, I went out and went back down to San Diego. I figured, well, since I have this money in my bank account, I'll go ahead and go to Seaport Village, because I would have the money to pay for parking. Because I think it was like $10 for, no, $8 for parking on Sundays, because it's a little bit of a discount. And then if you buy something there for $10 or more, then you can get a discount on your parking. So I thought, well, I'm going to do some shopping there anyway, because I wanted to get some things for myself, things for the kids. So I went down to Seaport Village, and I did Adventures with Chloe at Seaport Village, which you will see. That'll be the second Adventures with Chloe video you'll see. And I show you around, a little bit around downtown San Diego. I show you the hotel that the kids and I stayed at in 2015 from Seaport Village. And I show you a very special place there that I know I mentioned in the other video, that was, or an earlier clip of this video, that there was a movie filmed at this location. So I showed you from across the street this location where this movie was filmed. So, sorry, I still have my morning voice. And so, went to Seaport Village, did some shopping there, got my discounted ticket, and so I don't know how long I was at Seaport Village, because it was like $5 for the first hour or two, and then like $3 for each additional half hour or something, but I only had to pay the $8 minus the discount, so I paid $5 for parking, which was another weird thing, because when I looked back at my bank account about if the money for the hotel ever came out, it showed the $5 was taken out, then it was put back in, and then $2.75 was charged. So I don't know what's going on with the charges in my bank account, but I'm not complaining, because at least it went down instead of being charged so much. So got some souvenirs down there, and then I headed over to Old Town San Diego. And I showed you around there, and went into the Whaley House. This is the first time that I've been able to film inside the Whaley House. It's been taken over by this new company, so they do allow filming there now. And so I did film in there. There was a clip that I thought I was filming in the one room that, if you notice, like when you're filming on like a regular camera, not necessarily, well, maybe even on a video camera, but my camera is a digital camera that takes pictures and video, the one that I'm using right now. And when it focuses in on somebody's face, it does like those little squares in the, like the little corners around the face. Well, when I was filming in this room, which is the room right next door to where the theater room was, or is, I should say, it kept focusing those squares on these tiny little shoes that were on the floor at the edge of at the base of the bed, and there was nobody in the room. And I've never had it do the squares around an object. It's always been around a face. And so I thought I was filming that, but I can't find that clip. So maybe I forgot to hit the record button, which makes me very upset, because if there was something there, I may have been able to capture a spirit or something. But apparently I never hit the record button at that point. I haven't been able to find that clip. So I'm kind of upset about that. But I was able to film in the Whaley house, so you'll see that. You will see I do go to the graveyard that's up the street from Old Town, or from the Whaley house, which is also in Old Town. It's the oldest graveyard in at least San Diego, if not the state of California. And that's where Yankee Jim was hanged and buried. He was hanged at the old gallows, which is where the Whaley house sits, and then he was buried at this cemetery, or graveyard. And I do explain the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery in the Old Town video, so I won't ruin that for you. So you'll just have to watch that on the second video or the third video. The second video was Seaport Village, because the first one will be Lake Poway. So, hopefully my camera will not shut off, because I'm on my second battery and the first one died. So I'm charging the first battery, so hopefully this won't shut off, because usually it does that after a couple minutes or whatever that the battery dies. So that was Sunday. So I filmed 2 videos that day, went back to the hotel, went to bed kind of early, got up Monday morning, and went to the airport. Or didn't really go anywhere. I just watched the sunrise over I tried to watch the sunrise over the mountains, but it was cloudy that day. Went back out to Ocean Beach, which was the clip right before this outro, where I was kind of sad. I actually cried on the beach because I didn't want to leave. And I wrote in the sand, I wrote, "I'll miss you," and I took a picture of it. So that I think I'm going to put on my Chloe Murphy Facebook page, some of the pictures that I took out there on my phone. I'll upload those to my Chloe Murphy page. So if you want to join me on Facebook under Chloe Murphy, I will have pictures from the time that I was out there. And I did film some videos at the Whaley house on my phone, because my camera batteries died, both of them. And so I did film a little bit inside the Whaley house on my phone, so I'll upload those to both of my Facebook pages. So it'll be the same one, so whichever page you want to go to, if you know me under my real name. And so I went to the airport, returned my car, and I got so mad. I have this thing that I use in my car up here, that I bought back when I was doing DoorDash more often, and it fits in the cup holder, and it's like this magnetic thing that I can put my phone on in the cup holder, so that when I'm door dashing, or even when I go to work and stuff like that, then I can have my phone sitting out. Not that I'm paying attention to my phone a lot when I'm driving, because I don't do that. But like when I'm door dashing and I need to know which direction I'm going, or if I'm Google mapping and I need to know which direction I'm going, I'll just glance down to see which lane I need to be in. And I brought that out there with me to California, and as I'm pulling into the garage to return the car, I thought, don't forget to grab that thing. And the guy stopped me and told me what I need to do to return the car, like leave the keys on the dashboard, leave the window open, make sure that you take all your stuff with you, all this stuff. So I go to pull the car up, and that guy distracted me, so I forgot to grab that piece. So I left that thing in the car. I didn't realize it until after I took the shuttle and I was at the airport, and I'm like so mad that I forgot to grab that. I mean, I can buy another one, that's not a problem, but I just was so mad that I left that there. So anyway, I grabbed all my stuff, got inside the airport, and I went to check in. Now this is the fiasco with Frontier Airlines. It has been a freaking nightmare. So I go to check in, and I knew that I had to check my bag because Priceline didn't allow me to have the carry-on. So I went to the counter, and she says, just so you know, I'm going to have to charge you a fee for using me. Otherwise, you can go to either the app on your phone, which I didn't have the app on my phone, or you can go to the kiosk and check in there. I said, well, I have to check my bag, so I'll just use you. They charged me $100 at the counter to check my bag. One, it was the fee to use her at the counter, and two was to check my bag. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm like, great, now I'm losing more money again. So I checked the bag and I said, is this going to go all the way from here to Minneapolis? And she said, yeah, no problem. So I'm like, okay. So I go to look at my seat number and I was in the aisle. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I can't film the takeoff and the landing. And I looked at my second ticket, and again, I'm in the aisle, and I'm like, oh, man, I can't film either the takeoffs or the landings. Well, I'm sitting at the gate, and I was talking to the gal next to me that was flying, because we were flying into Phoenix. And the gal next to me, she goes, you know, I have a window seat. I don't mind switching with you. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And so we switched seats, and then when I got on the plane, I got in the wrong seat. So the guy got on the plane that was supposed to be in the seat I was in. And he goes, you know what, never mind, I'll just sit on the other side of the plane on the other window seat. So I'm like, okay, thank you. And so I was able to film the takeoff and the landing from San Diego into Phoenix. Now, here's where it gets interesting because, let me check my battery. Okay, so far it's not flashing. Okay, so we're taxiing out from and all the flights that I took, both there and back, from United to Frontier, every flight was plumb full. So we're taxiing out to the runway, and I swear the pilot on the plane was drunk. Because as we're taxiing, usually you go straight, right? This had us going like this, going back and forth like this. And we're on the taxiway, and I'm thinking, why are we going back and forth? What is the matter with this guy? So we get out onto the runway, and we're taking off. And again, as we're taking off, I feel the plane kind of going like this, back and forth. And I'm like, we're going to crash. Oh my gosh. I was like so panicked. We're up in the air. It took about an hour to get from San Diego to Phoenix. And I swear, even in the air, we're going back and forth like this. And it's not like it was windy. I mean, we did have some turbulence in the air, even going out there from Minneapolis to Denver to San Diego. But that was United. We had a lot of turbulence going into Denver, I think it was. And so I'm like, what is the matter with this dude? So as we're coming in for the landing, you'll see that on the landing in Phoenix, where you'll see my hand go up like this, and I don't know if you can hear me on the plane because it's kind of loud, but I turned to the girl next to me. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? You know, because we were both kind of panicked, like, what is going on? Are we going to crash? Whatever. So we get into Phoenix, and the gate that I flew into, or that they taxied to, was gate 1. And I had to go to gate 3. So I'm like, okay, good. Now it's really close. So I just went from my plane, there was a plane in between, and then I went to the next plane. So they were like 1, 2, and 3 right in a row. So I thought, okay, my luggage will just go from this plane underneath the next plane to the third plane, and then I'll get it in Minneapolis. So I don't have to worry about whether or not my luggage will make it back to Minneapolis. Not so much. So we take off. I had a different pilot, obviously, for the third plane, and he flew the plane really well. So the flight from Phoenix to Minneapolis was a lot smoother. But unfortunately, I couldn't switch seats with anybody, so I had the aisle seat. So I couldn't film the takeoff and the landing from Phoenix into Minneapolis. So anyway, we get into Minneapolis, and Silver Star met me at the airport. She had been there for like an hour, because when we took off, we were told that it was going to take like 2 hours. And this is when we were still on the ground before we taxied away. So I texted Silver Star, and I'm like, just so you know, we're going to get in a lot quicker than I thought. And it's only going to take 2 hours. And we thought it was going to be like 4 hours from Phoenix to Minneapolis, but it was going to be like half the time. So she got there super early. She was sitting there for like an hour at the airport before I got in. So we got in just before 9 o'clock at night. So, and I was supposed to land at like 9:30. So she was already at the airport for like an hour, bored out of her mind, and after putting in a long day at work and stuff like that. So she was tired. So we go to the carousel, and I'm watching all these bags going around, and I'm not seeing my bag. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not seeing more bags coming down the chute. So I'm like, my bag didn't make it to Minneapolis. Okay, so we go to try and find somebody to talk to about my bag, and I had to go to the ticket counter. Well, there was nobody at the ticket counter at this time of night because I had to fly into Terminal 2 because it's a smaller airline. And I go to the guy at the ticket counter, and he had to help somebody else. So he goes to leave, and there's nobody else behind the ticket counter. One girl finally comes out, and I'm like, yeah, my bag's not here. So she took my information. She went in the back to try to find my bag. Then the guy finally comes back after about 15 minutes, and he's like, okay, so what can I do for you? I said, well, a girl came out, and she went in the back to try and find my bag. So he goes, okay. So then she comes out. The guy is still there, and they're talking about this other guy in front of me and Silver Star, and I'm like, I don't really care. I want my bag. I'm like, I want to go home. I got to work in the morning. I want my bag so I can go. So the gal says, well, it's not back there. Okay. So the guy had me fill out a form, claim form, and he said, when your bag comes in, it should come in on the next flight, either from San Diego or Phoenix. I said, well, can you tell me where my bag is? No, I can't tell you that. Okay. Well, when is the next flight coming in from either San Diego and or Phoenix? He goes, I can't tell you that. I'm like, you're a ticket agent. You got the computer right there. You can't tell me when the next flight is coming in from both of those locations? And he goes, no, I can't tell you that. Never, ever, ever fly Frontier Airlines. I'm telling you, I have just had a mess with them. So I'm like, well, I'm not coming back down here to get my bag. He goes, oh, that's... Okay, so where did I leave off before my camera shut off again? Okay, so I was talking about the guy at the airport at the ticket counter that couldn't even tell me when the next flight was coming in from San Diego or Phoenix with my bag on it. So we're still on Thursday today, and so I filled out the form, the claim form, and I was promised that my bag would be delivered to me for free, finally something free, the following day, which would have been Tuesday. So Silver Star and I left. I was in tears because I was so upset about everything. Hadn't got much sleep and, had quite the vacation or whatever. So we left. I came home. And I was trying to think of everything that was in my bag. Well, I had bought souvenirs for everybody. I had some of my clothes in my bag. I had my toothbrush in my bag. I had little bottles of soap and shampoo, which I had the big bottles here, so I didn't have to worry about that. I had the cord that I use to plug my phone into my car in my bag. I have one digital recorder in my bag and a battery charger for like AA batteries, AAA batteries. I have that in my bag. So obviously I'm quite upset that I don't have my bag. So I go to work the next day, Tuesday, and of course everybody's asking me, oh, how was your trip? And what's the final outcome? And so I told them about this whole fiasco with Frontier Airlines, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry that you were going through that. And I was telling them about Priceline and all these extra charges that I've had and all this stuff. And so this week has just been so frustrating for me because of my stupid bag. So I come home I called Frontier on Tuesday. I don't remember what time. I'm pretty sure I called him on Tuesday. And I'm like, where's my bag? I need my bag. And, of course, we're playing voicemail tag with each other because, of course, there's no customer service line. So, I'm calling them and then they're calling me. And it's just, I can't get in touch with a person. So Wednesday morning comes. It's before I had to go to work. And I get this call. I'm reaming out. Was it Wednesday? Either Tuesday or I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, Tuesday or Wednesday. I got emails from Dollar Rent a Car, which is where I rented my car from. I got emails from Priceline. Or no, I got I got an email from Frontier Airlines asking me to take surveys for those two services. And so I filled out those surveys. And as I'm filling out these forms, I had called, I hadn't called Frontier Airlines that morning yet. So I get this phone call from a number I didn't recognize, but it was in St. Paul. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to continue. Because at that point, I was reaming out Priceline. Because I was talking to somebody on Priceline about all these extra charges that I wasn't expecting. And so I just let it go to voicemail. And I checked my voicemail when I got done with Priceline. And it's the airport here saying, oh, we got your bag in. You can come pick it up. I went, I don't think so. You said you were going to be delivering it to me. So I immediately called them back and I got a voicemail. So that's when the whole voicemail tag kept going on and back and forth. So I called them back. That was voicemail number 1. I have now left them 5 voicemails. Each one gets a little bit more colorful in my wording, as I'm sure you could well imagine. So, to make a long story short, I just went to visit my parents, tell them about the trip. As I'm coming home, I just pull into the parking lot of my apartment, and I get a call from the baggage company at the airport saying, I've got your bag, I'm coming to bring it to you, but it might take a couple hours for me to get it to you because I've got a couple other drop-offs to make first, and with rush hour traffic, all that stuff. I went, just as long as I get it. So, by the time this video is uploaded, because I'm not going to wait for the bag to come here to finish out my video, I'm almost done with my outro. I promise this is the longest outro I've ever done. I should have my bag back in my hands. Now, Silver Star was willing to go down there today and pick it up if I hadn't called her by 5 o'clock. Well, right now it's 4. And they just called me and said that they should have it to me. Hopefully by 6. We'll see. So they're going to call me when they get here. I'll go down and pick up my bag, and then I will be happy. And then I'm going to rip Frontier, a new one. Then I'm going to call Priceline to find out if I can get the money back for the extra charges back for the car rental, for the insurance, and find out why I was being charged all these surprise fees that I didn't know about, and see if I can get money back from them. I'm going to call Frontier Airlines and see if I can get the $104 back that I had to pay in San Diego to check my bag, which was ridiculous. So, thankfully, I just got paid today. I was able to transfer some of my money back into my savings. More money will go into my savings again tomorrow because I have it set up that way for my rent account, savings account. So hopefully by the 1st I will have the money in there for my rent, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm starting to play catch up now. So that has been my vacation. While I was out there, everything was great. The weather was beautiful, except for Monday when it was a little bit cold and rainy on Monday, but you saw that video, that clip in this video. That was when I took my last trip to Ocean Beach. And yes, I did cry on the beach. Let me kind of show you, since I have my phone now. Let me show you the picture that I took on the beach when I was leaving. I put a little message in the sand. Hold on here. I think I took it with this. Yeah. So hopefully you can read that. It says, I'll miss you. Hopefully you can read that. So I wrote that in the sand. And I was crying. So the other reason I'm kind of sad today is because 34 years ago today, I found out that I had lost my daughter, Jennifer. And 3 years ago today, almost to the minute, I think, is when I had to say goodbye to Lucky. So it's been kind of an emotional roller coaster for me this week. And incidentally, the year that I lost my daughter, the days of the week fall on the same days. So when I found out that I lost my daughter, it was a Thursday. Today is a Thursday. And so with Lucky, I think the day of the week I put him down was a Tuesday, I want to say. It was 3 years ago. So in 2020, April 20th, 2020. Let me see if I can even pull that up here. Hang on a second. Let's see what day of the week that was. So April 20th, 2020. Oh, it was a Monday. So he's off with Rainbow, running in the fields. So it's been kind of an emotional roller coaster for me today. And it'll continue that way until the 25th, which was the day that I technically gave birth to my daughter Jennifer. I kind of consider that her birthday. Silver Star was kind enough when I was out. I think it was was it before I went to California? I think it was before I went to California. She found this website where she can order a headstone for Jennifer because we don't have one. And so she and I kind of helped each other figure out how to make that all work. So she wants to order this headstone for Jenny for the cemetery. So I thought that was really, very sweet of her to do that. So to try to end on a high note, my bag is coming back to me tonight. I did have a good time out in California. To find out if I'm staying in Minnesota or if I am moving to California, you'll have to go to my Facebook page. So, if you know me by my real name, go to my Facebook page. And all I'm going to say about that is if my plan was, when I got back, if I was planning on moving out there, I was going to post the song Spread Your Wings from Queen on my Facebook page. If I wasn't going to be moving out there, I was going to post the song Hold On from Wilson Phillips. So if you want to know the answer to whether I'm staying in Minnesota or whether I'm going out to California, you'll have to go to my Facebook page. So if you know me by my real name, it's already posted on my real name Facebook page. I will be posting that also on my Chloe Murphy page. And I will show you again what that page looks like so that you get the right page. Because as I said earlier in this clip, there is a lot of Chloe Murphys out there. So to find my Chloe Murphy page, once it comes up, this is what my Chloe Murphy page looks like. So look for that. The banner is a picture of Lucky and Rainbow, and my profile picture is a picture of me and Chris Fleming. So that's my Facebook page, so look for that. So that's how you can find me, and that's how you can find out the answer if I'm staying or if I'm moving. So at this point, I'm going to say thank you for joining me on this trip. And I appreciate your patience with me. I will hopefully be getting back into a more normal schedule of uploading videos, getting my life back on track, paying off bills that I have recently had to accumulate because of my car. That's another video in and of itself. And getting back to normal. So at this point, I'm going to say thank you for coming with me from San Diego to here. And back, well, from here to San Diego and back. And so be looking in the next week or two for all those Adventures with Chloe videos. I also plan to write out the information for the next Presidential Highlights video. I gotta finish those up. I'm on Bush Jr. now. So I've got to get those finished up. I'm almost there. I think it's Bush Jr. and then I think the next one is Obama and then Trump and then Biden. but Biden won't be done until after he's out of office. So I think I have 3 more to do, if I'm right. I think it's just 3 more. Don't have the paperwork in front of me. So in any case, wanted to say thank you for coming with me. I hope you guys have a sunny day, even though it's cloudy and cold here in Minnesota. And we will see you guys on the next one. So watch for those Adventures with Chloe videos coming up soon. See you later. Bye.